Hi, Mom and Dad. I love you. Happy 50th anniversary. I think it's really awesome that I have parents that have now been married 50 years, over 50 years, and I think that's a real great achievement, especially in today's society. Let me back up. Let me say I want to welcome everybody here to our Mom and Dad's 50th wedding anniversary celebration, and glad you could join us in celebrating this milestone in their life. And we're here today to look back and reflect on some of the past memories that we've shared with some of you all. And excuse me, one second. Hello? Hey, Mom. Yeah, I'm over at Mike's. Yeah, we're watching a movie. No, we're not working on a video for your wedding anniversary party. No, we're keeping it low key. No big deal, no big production, just family and friends coming over. Not a big deal. Don't worry. No. Okay. I love you. Goodbye. Sorry about that. Mom, the worry wart, always worrying about everything, and which I guess most moms do. Anyway, what was I saying? Well, welcome you all here today. Now, I hope you enjoyed the lunch. It was catered by Tractor's restaurant here in Jackson, Missouri. I enjoyed it, and it was very good, although I haven't eaten it, I guess, but I will in the future. But anyway, they can cater to all your party needs, and we get a 3% discount if we say that. So here we go, and I hope they hear this, so we get our 3%. Anyway, just kidding. Anyway, back to the party. Just sit back and enjoy as we share in this video some of our memories and our pictures and different events that have occurred over the last 50 or so years. And hope you, hang on. Hello? Yes, Randy. Yeah, I'm over at Mike's, and yes, the DNA did confirm that you are part of the family. So yes, you can come on over to the party, bring your family. Yes, don't be late. See ya. Bye, Randy. That was our brother Randy. We were just confirming that he was part of our family. We weren't really ever sure, but anyway, back to the video. Please sit back, enjoy, and here we go.
Hello, Auntie Beverly and Uncle Ken. It's Lisa. Just wanted to wish you both a very happy 50th wedding anniversary. I wish I could be there with all of you. I know it's going to be a wonderful time. I love you lots. Again, congratulations on your 50th wedding anniversary. Love you. Bye.
Well, my brothers and I thought we would share a few stories and memories from life with Mom and Dad as we were growing up. And one of the funny things I can remember happening, we were on a trip. I think it was maybe Lake Tahoe. And I think Dad learned the secret to how to have peace and quiet in the vehicle. You know, with the three boys and Mom, it could at times get on your nerves, I'm sure. Now that I'm a parent, I can fully understand that. But Dad learned the trick to how to get a little peace and quiet. We came up to an overlook, and Dad pulled the car over, and he got out, and of course he told all of us to stay in the vehicle. It was too dangerous, and there was a little wall, and he got out, and he got up on that wall, and he kind of acted like he stumbled, and then he fell off the wall away from the vehicle, and out of our sight. And of course, Mom is screaming and yelling and thought Dad had just, fallen to his death. And lo and behold, Dad kind of pops up from behind the wall laughing and chuckling because he had just got Mom. And so Dad got back in the car, and I think that was the quietest trip that we've ever had with Mom and Dad. I don't think Mom said another word to Dad for about, 900 miles. So anyway, I remember that pretty vividly, and I'm sure Dad can attest to it. Just ask him later about it. Something on a little more serious, I guess, note. Something that I appreciate about Mom and Dad was their love of traveling, and they would take us on these big family vacations, and we got to see a lot of things growing up, and I know a lot of folks don't necessarily get to do that, but we were fortunate and blessed to go on these trips and to see a big part of our beautiful country here. So that was really a treasure for me to have, and I want to thank Mom and Dad for that. And even so, even today, as I've gone on vacations with my family, Mom and Dad have accompanied us on multiple times, and we've really, really enjoyed doing that and taking them along. So, and then lastly, I just want to leave with, I guess moms in general tend to be worrywarts, and sometimes, I'm not sure why, but Mom would just worry about every little thing we were doing, or always wanted to know, and so you only tell Mom sometimes enough information so that they wouldn't have anything to worry about, but sometimes it just got a little overbearing. But anyway, I really am not sure why Mom would worry so much about me, and although I guess there was this time a few years ago I went to Mammoth Cave, and we were climbing up out of the bottomless pit. Sure glad Mom isn't here to see this one. So yeah, that was the bottomless pit. Now, I guess there was that time in Crevice Cave. I like to cave, and we were in Crevice Cave, and we come into a narrow crawlway passage that really choked down, and that was back in 1980 something. Glad Mom isn't here to see this one. So yeah, I guess there was that other time we went mountain climbing, and I didn't tell Mom about that because of some of the stuff we were up to, but it was pretty. I'm sure glad Mom isn't here to see this one.
Hi, Beryl, Uncle Ken. Happy anniversary. Glad that the boys are doing this. Just one of my favorite aunts, so I'm just busy cross-stitching. But Jay also, since he's working, told me to tell you happy anniversary as well. So we love you. You have a good time at the party. Bye-bye.
Hi Beverly and Kenny, this is Mary. I just want to wish you both a very wonderful happy 50th wedding anniversary. What a wonderful surprise the boys are doing. And remember when we went to Las Vegas and you got married, we just thought we just had a wonderful trip, and it was so much fun. And I'm glad that it has lasted all this time. You sure scared me getting married so fast. And I just want you to know that I wish I was there in person, but I can't be, and so I just wish you the very, very best, and I hope you have 50 more long years together. Bye-bye.
Most of you probably in this crowd know me, but I am the middle child. So, as I say, the stable one. I wasn't the firstborn that they practiced on, and I wasn't the baby that got spoiled, but I was the middle child, the stable one. And our mom and dad actually used to smoke, and when we were really young, they smoked, and us kids, we really gave them a hard time about that, and told them, you know, that that's not good for you, and that they shouldn't do it. And Mom, she agreed, and she pretty much quit right away. But my dad, he said he quit, and he probably did for a few weeks, I imagine. But then again, all of a sudden, we started seeing the Pall Mall, I think it was called, cigarette cartons laying around the house. And one time I was at a flea market, and they sold these things called cigarette loads. And I'm sure they're illegal today, but they're little white gizmos that you could put inside of a cigarette, and you couldn't see it when it was pushed inside the tobacco. And we had mixed 3 in a pack of cigarettes, randomly put them in there. I think the first one went off. Dad was out back, and I don't know if we even really knew about it. But the second one, he, every evening, I have to stop for just a second, back up, he would play a couple of the exact same songs over and over on the organ. We had an organ in the living room, and so he'd go in there and play When the Saints Go Marching In, and oh, I think Somewhere My Love was the other one, and he would play those over and over. We're watching TV, and we hear When the Saints Go Marching In, and all of a sudden, about middle of the song, we hear kaboom. Came in that living room, and he was mad, and he had the cigarette pieces all in his hair, and just, you know, look, you know, you can imagine what it would look like, but he was mad, and he's like, you kids, and he knew he couldn't get too mad because he was not supposed to be smoking. Game was up at that point, and I think that's when he might even, I don't know if he flushed him down the toilet or not, but I think that's when he quit smoking. So anyway, that's one of the funny stories I can remember. On the serious side, I would have to say, kind of like with Fred, we talked about travel. Travel is the one thing that sticks out in my mind as growing up in our family, and specifically the trip they took us in the motorhome up to Canada, basically, and into Montana. And we ended up at Glacier National Park, and we did a hike to Iceberg Lake. And the neat thing about that was one of my fondest memories, and that trip, and that specifically that hike to Iceberg Lake in Glacier National Park. But this past summer, we made that same trip, my family, and actually Fred and Bev and their family went along as well. And we went to the same place, and we went on that same hike well, I guess it would be 30-something years later or whatever. But and even little Levi at 4 years of age was able to make that hike, and we're pretty proud of him, and he even got a ranger badge for doing it. But it was neat and just fun to get to take my own family and see that same thing and experience that same thing with them. And hiking on the Iceberg Lake Trail, I don't know, maybe 2 miles into it. Been waiting for this for many years to bring my family here, and here we are living the dream. Mom and Dad, thank you for that. Oh, wait a second. I was just reminded by my cameraman. Mom the worry wart. Yeah, I had a couple things to say real quick about that. I have to agree with Fred. I think Mom was a little bit on the nervous worry wart side of things. Even as an adult now, she's been concerned about or upset about is my little midlife crisis when I purchased a Mustang convertible. She's always telling me how she's worried about that convertible and just, you know, be careful and those kind of things. But got to thinking, I wonder what Mom would think if she knew about my last trip to Disney World and the car that I drove there. I'm not sure if she'd be real excited about that one either.
Putting his suit on. Did you hurt me? Here goes Mike. Getting ready to go in for a ride. Hope you come back. If not, and he's off. And I don't know how far we'll see him. I know I can at least, well, I can see that I can see him. I can assume this is him. All right, Catherine, what do you think? Is he having fun? How about Mommy? What does she think? Is he having fun? Oh, I think he's having the time of his life. Fun? Yeah. Are you scared? He should be coming any second. What do you think, Mike?
I'm sure glad my mom didn't see that. Happy 50th wedding anniversary. Love you guys. Thanks for all the memories over the last 45 years for me at this point, and look forward to many more happy years with you.
Hello? Hello? Brian, do you know any of these people?
Oh yeah, I know Fred. Sure.
Yeah, sure. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Has it really been 50 years? Wow, how time flies. You know, I was just thinking back of all the things that Mom and Dad got away with doing to us kids that they'd be thrown in prison for today for child abuse. I mean, we would ride sitting on a toolbox between the two front seats of an Econoline van going 60 miles an hour down one of the most dangerous highways on the West Coast. And I mean, their idea of child safety restraints would be Mom sticking out her arm when we go around a corner on two wheels. There's other things I think about, you know, being the baby boy in the family. You know, I had two older brothers that were always tormenting me, and so you know, one day as they were busy, I got together with Mom and I said, man, I want to do something to get Mike and Fred. And you know, what could I do? Well, what was really big back in the 70s was Bigfoot. And so Mom and I had this idea that I would make fake Bigfoot tracks in the backyard. I actually made the tracks where they went way back up. We lived in the mountains. They went way back through the backyard up in the mountains, and I went all the way back down the hill the other direction, tore up shrubs and broke sticks and made it look like some huge, ginormous, you know, half man, half ape creature had come down through the mountain at a quick speed. And so, you know, I set all this up, and then I got Mom to in on it, and I said, okay, you know, so you need to get them into the backyard. And I hid in the bathroom, so I couldn't even see out the window into the backyard, but the window was open where I could listen. So they go out there, and I wait, and just a few seconds later, I hear the following, you know. Hey, Fred. What? Look at this over here. What? Look at these tracks. What are you talking about, Mike? Look, it's Bigfoot tracks. Oh, come on. No, look. Well, those do look like Bigfoot tracks. And look, they go way back up in the mountains. Look, they go way back up the hill. And look, they go way back down this way. Oh my goodness, we got Bigfoot. We got to call the newspaper. They were freaking out. They thought we had had a sighting. We had been visited by Bigfoot. And so about this time, I am laughing so hard in the bathroom, and they hear me laughing through that window. And so I come out of that bathroom, and then they look at my face, and they know that they have been completely set up. And they look at me, and they look at Mom, and they realize they've been completely had. So kudos to you, Mom, for helping me get the big brothers back all those years ago in California. So many stories. You know, I think back, we were kids, we would always go to San Antonio Lake, and one time I was probably 4 or 5 years old and had a little squirt gun, and Mom and Aunt Pauline were fixing lunch or something at a picnic table, and I was always playing in the dirt. And I came up to Mom and Aunt Pauline, and I said, hey, there's a big worm over there, and he's not very nice. And they're like, will you just go shoot that worm with your squirt gun? And so I went back, you know, and Came back later and said, you know that worm, he's not very nice at all. And Mom and Aunt Pauline was like, well, what do you mean he's not very nice? I said, well, that worm, he came up out of that hole and looked at me, and he stuck his tongue out at me. He was so mean. And oh my goodness, if anybody that knows my mom, that you'll know that of the 3 things that she is the most afraid of in life, snakes are at least 2 of them. And so her and Aunt Pauline freaked out, started screaming bloody murder. They grabbed me, took me to higher ground, and we've had tremendous laughs about that over the years. So, Mom has always been in the center of all these incredibly hilarious things over the years. What are the things that I'm thankful for as I look back about Mom and Dad? I mean, where do I begin and where would I end? Us kids, we've had a great example in Mom and Dad of what it is to work hard. I would say the 2 things you would learn from them is, number 1, trust the Lord, and number 2, work hard. And we've had a great example in our parents of that. I was just thinking how funny it is that, think about my mom. Everywhere she goes, she ends up becoming the boss. I mean, out in California, she goes to work for Croft Reynolds, and before you know it, she's the office manager, and she pretty well runs the place. And then we move to Missouri, and she goes to work for Mike Tomlin and Terry there at the agency. And before you know it, she's the office manager and pretty well the boss again. And now that Mom and Dad retire, they move out to El Nathan, and guess what? Mom is the boss again, and every day Dad gets up and he has to answer to her. I think that's pretty funny. But not to take anything away from Dad, because everywhere he goes, he's respected and rises to the top. I mean, in California, he was rated as one of the top Ford service mechanics when we lived there. And then we moved to Missouri. He opens up his own shop. And what do I hear over the years, time and time again, from other mechanics that worked with Dad? Whenever they had a car that they couldn't figure out what was wrong, they always ended up taking it to Ken's Auto because Dad would be able to figure it out. So, they both experts in their own right. But the other things that I think about, Mike and Fred talked about the trips that we always took, and those are famous. But I think about how our family has had an odd and long fascination with water and water sports. Even when I was a little kid, as earliest memories I have were being on the boat there at San Antonio Lake. I'm like 5 years old. We get an above-ground pool in California, and I'm looking at it one day with Dad, and I said, Dad, I don't know how to swim. And he said, you don't know how to swim? I said, I don't know how to swim. And he grabbed me, and he threw me out into the middle of this pool, 5 feet deep, and he goes, swim. And I did. And that's how I learned to swim. It's tough love, I guess. Like, once again, child abuse. But even after we moved to Missouri, we spent so much time at Lake Kincaid and Lake Wapapello, water skiing and kneeboarding. And it was such a good time because it brought the whole family together. And even as our families grew, the grandkids came along, we spent so much time on the water and how much fun, the pontoon boats and the ski boats and the wave runners and even different ones in the family, Dad's family with Pauline and Chuck, we would even meet with them and, do water sports and things like that. So I'm just really thankful for all those times, and there's going to be memories that will last a lifetime, and wouldn't trade them for anything. Thanks, Mom and Dad. I would think that if there was an Olympic category for being a worrywart, I have no doubt that my mom would have won like 9 gold medals. Forget it, Phelps. My mom would challenge you as the most gold medals. My brothers, have given her so much occasion, and my dad, over the years of just running her nerves into the ground. But the thing I guess that as I think back about that I am really thankful for and proud of is that as the third son, seeing all these bad examples in my dad and the horrible things that he did to Mom and Mike and Fred, oh my goodness. I learned that, leave my poor mother's heart alone. Don't give her any cause for concern. And so I've been very thankful that neither me or my family, now my kids, we've trained our kids, don't upset, Nanny, and, take care of her, and don't make her worry, because what happens is, I'm sorry, hold on. Hello, this is Randy. Who's this? Mr. Smith, I'm not. Oh, with Rotary International Foreign Exchange Program. Yes, how are you, Mr. Smith? Good. Did you get Kristen's application? Oh, okay. Everything good. Everything has been approved, and wonderful. For this fall, so she is going to be able to go overseas this fall. Great. Is okay. What's the problem then? All 3 of the countries that she picked are no longer valid. Well, what happened? Oh, she wasn't, okay, you only have so many slots available. What do we do now? Oh, there are a fourth and fifth. Okay, what was her fourth? Well, she didn't put any down? Okay, what are our options at this point? What's the next available country that she could go to? Oh, Afghanistan? Oh, yes, Afghanistan. Yeah, yes. There's so much history there. Okay, what if Afghanistan doesn't work out? Is there any other country that she could go to? North Korea, that is wonderful. North Korea, I think they have great skiing there. And, absolutely. A lot of culture, love it, wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. That sounds good. Thank you so much, Ms. Smith. She'll be so excited. I can't wait to tell the whole family. This is going to be the greatest thing ever. Thank you so much. You have a good day, sir. Bye-bye. Anyway, sorry about that. So, as I was saying, we never have given my mom reason for concern or to bother her nerves. And I'm sorry they don't have any funny stories to share about that, like my brothers or even my dad. So, anyway, that's what I'm most proud of.
Hi, Beverly and Kenny. Happy anniversary from Santa Cruz, California. Sorry that we're not able to be there with you for this big celebration. But as it is, we can't be, and we just wish you the very best and love you very, very much.
Unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, and my teleprompter is not available today, we just want to take this time and opportunity to tell you that we love you and happy anniversary, Kenny and Beverly from sunny California. It's only 60 degrees here today, and it's just so cold. But we wish we were with you to be there in person.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, come on, little girl, and dance with me. We'll have fun, just you wait and see. Come on, little girl, come on and dance with me. Come on, baby, and hold me tight. Squeeze me, baby, with all your might. Come on, little girl, come on and dance with me.
What was your first thought after meeting Nanny?
When I first met her,
Yep.
I made a fool of myself. I showed her a picture of my cousin and 4 kids and told her it was my ex-wife.
What did she think of that?
She didn't think very much of me and ignored me.
What day of the week did you first meet?
Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock.
And where was that?
January 31st.
Where was it at?
It was in San Fernando, California, by Corvallis Lake. We went up to the dam and sat in the parking lot and talked. I was with my friend and she was with her girlfriend.
When was your first date?
On Friday night, the 5th of February.
Well, he asked me several times. See, I went to college 2 nights a week and prayer meeting on Wednesday night. He knew we went to this James's drive-in afterwards to get a Coke or something. And he'd meet us there and ask me to take me home. And I say, no, no, no. He finally asked me, what can I do to get a date with you? I said, you have to call me.
I asked her why she wouldn't let me take her home. And she said that she wasn't a pickup and that I would have to call her. So she left, and an hour later I called her. She was waiting for the phone call, and I asked her for a date, and we went out Friday night.
Whose car was driven on the first date?
It was his car the first date, but his radio didn't work, and after that it was my car, my gas.
Where did you guys go?
Drove around. Well, second date we drove down to Hollywood and drove all down through Hollywood and looking at things. And
At what point in time did the marriage in Vegas come about, and whose idea was it?
It was Nanny's idea. She didn't want to go to get married in California because you have to get a blood test.
I I guess because I was scared of needles. I don't know. I just didn't really relish the thought of having it. But I would have if that was all, yeah. We were going to go to Tijuana, and my sister talked us out of it, said Daddy would not be happy to go to Tijuana, so we went to Las Vegas.
When did you first talk about getting married in Vegas?
Probably Wednesday night.
Was there an official proposal?
Yeah, she asked me.
Was there a proposal?
Me or him? I don't know. I guess. I'm sure.
I went home and told my sister after the first date I met the girl I was going to marry. And she got out of bed and said, "Who?" She'd never met her yet. And I said, "It's the girl I took out tonight."
My sister Mary, and she said she was happy, you know, because she'd met him and she liked him a lot. She said, "Mom and Dad aren't going to be too happy marrying somebody that we hardly know," but I didn't tell anybody until after we were married. Then we called my mom and dad.
They asked their next door neighbors to go with them, and then Beverly's sister and her husband went, and the 8 of us went to Vegas.
Well, Kenny and I went with Mary and Harry in their car, and his sister and them, they went in their car, 4 of them.
What were you thinking on the way to Vegas?
Well, it was early in the morning. We left about 4 o'clock in the morning. And
well, we were so tired, I think we slept in the back seat. Excited, I guess, you know. I had found the man of my dreams.
Describe your ceremony.
I was at the Chapel of the White Stars. And I guess I was nervous, they said. My sister happened to bring smelling salts along and had to put it in front of my nose to keep me up so I wouldn't chicken out. So it was just a short service, preacher. And
How did you come up with like a wedding dress so fast? So surprised.
It was my sister's best friend. She had bought all of for her sister to get married, and her sister run away to get married or something, didn't use it, and anyway she gave the whole outfit to me. The dress, the gloves, the shoes, the Bible, the thing, yeah, the whole thing, gave it to me to use. You know, such few of us there. I remember the preacher was, his last name was Robertson, and it was very short, very, very sweet.
after we got married, we went to walk downtown. We were pretty well broke, didn't have any money. We walked down to a little restaurant there in Las Vegas and went in and sat down in a booth and ordered something, probably the cheapest thing on the menu, I guess. And some man come up to us and asked us, that says, "You're newlyweds, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes, sir, we are." And he said, "Well, I thought so." And lo and behold, I didn't know what his reason was, but when we went up to pay for our dinner, he'd paid for it. So that was about the most exciting thing we had. And then we came back home and went to work.
Let's see, we lived 2 weeks with my sister, Mary, and her husband, and then we lived a couple of weeks with his sister, and then he got laid off, and I was working for 2 attorneys, and I gave notice, and we went back to Kansas, where he was from. I didn't tell anybody until after we were married. Then we called my mom and dad.
How did they react to that?
Well, Mother was quite shocked, and but she was, you know, I was so far away. She trusted Mary taking care of me.
What was the story I've been hearing about your old girlfriend after the wedding when you came back?
Oh, that little story?
Yes.
Well, after I'd been laid off, well, I'd go to where Beverly worked at the lawyer's office, and I'd sit out in front of the office waiting for her. Lo and behold, here comes my ex-girlfriend and jumps in the car and wanted to know where I'd been and what I was doing. And I said, "Well, I haven't been around, but I'm waiting on my wife." And she says, "What wife?" I says, "Mine." And she says, "Well, when did this happen?" I said, "Oh, a week ago." And that's when she found out I was no longer available.
Was she mad?
Yes, which I don't know. She wrote my mother a letter, very upset.
What did I think about the letter? I'm I had him, so I wasn't worried. He was mine, all mine. Something about him, just, I knew he was the one.
I knew when I met her, right off, that the Lord had sent her. I asked for the Lord to send me a decent girl, and I didn't waste any time. And I thought a week was long enough before she got away.